right here is going to pit Jimmy Huff, the number 2 qualifier, against Kurt Reynoldson, the number 11 qualifier, in the first pair out right here. First round of SEGA from South Georgia Motorsports Park. Kicking off our 2025 season. First pair of gassers down the track as we see them. Jimmy Huff with the advantage off the starting line, and he takes that to a convincing victory right here in the Larice Motorsports Insurance right lane. So Jimmy Huff will move on to round number 2, where he'll face the winner of the Josh Pruitt-Diana Casto matchup coming your way in this round. '66 Chevy 2 4-door, the car of choice for Ernie Smith. Priority heating and air, wings, etc. of Boiling Springs, and Woodfin Towing doing the majority of the sponsorship there for Ernie Smith. A little help from Don Baskins and some other people I can't really recognize. Ernie Smith needing to get me a list of his sponsors up here. Brad Wimberly in that 62 Comet over there in the left side. He and his brother, they support the Fords pretty hard. Mechanical fuel injection on that car in the QuickTime Performance left lane. Lamar Walden race engine underneath the hood for the number 7 qualifier, Wimberly. Todd Hartel horsepower under the hood for Ernie Smith, who sits in the right lane. Smith with a starting line advantage. Is that going to be enough to take him through the deep? Wimberly makes that up. But Ernie Smith drives back around him. Actually, Wimberly was ahead at the 330, and Ernie Smith drives back around him at the 8th mile mark for a margin. Josh Pruitt with that patented burnout that he has. He likes to pat the foot feet, just kind of feather it in and out. You can hear that in the RPMs right there as he brings that car back to the attention of his Aunt Debbie Ison and his Uncle Billy, who's behind the car, and Dad Neil Pruitt also right there, crew chief in the car. Mary Beth Haynes helping out over there with the backup girl duties for Diana Casto in the quick draw. Winner of this was going to get Jimmy Huff in round number 2. Hole shot advantage for Josh Pruitt. Is that going to be enough to take him to the end? Yes, it is. Josh Pruitt dispatching of Diana Casto in first round, and he'll move on to take on Jimmy Huff in round number 2. In that 55 Chevy. Big American flag on the side right there for the Clover, South Carolina racer. Perry, Georgia, where John Leidick calls home in his 57 Chevy. So I want to let you guys know the story behind the reason that car is named the Damn It Bob. It's not to be derogatory to anyone, but Alfred Adams had a brother with special needs, and a lot of times that young man would make some mistakes around the house, and you know, his dad would always say, Alfred Adams' father would always say, "Damn it, Bob, I told you many times we got to do it this way and that way." And so in honor of his brother and his nickname of Damn It Bob, that's why Alfred Adams named his car, the 1955 Chevy you see in the right lane, the Damn It Bob. Both cars in the pre-stage. No one wanting to light up the stage light just yet. Lighting goes in first. Alfred Adams with a whole shot advantage on the line right there. That's going to be all. His Leidig has a lot of smoke coming out of that car. So John Leidig looks like he might have had some problems down track, and that's enough for Alfred Adams to streak away to victory and move on to round number 2. Randy Kiefer, racing Superstock last year, was our runner-up in our points category last year in Superstock, and took the spine tingler, put a 2 beside it, and decided he was going to put it in C-gas this year. Butler Performance 406 cubic inch motor underneath the hood there for him. Gene Fulton power plant under the hood for the 53 Chevy of Heath Adams out of Greenville, South Carolina. See all the kind of things that quick time performance can do to increase the performance of your vehicle on the street or on the strip. Got a good race right here, fans. Heath Adams going to take the win right there in that 53 Chevy. Jaron Perdue, the number 1 qualifier here today, going to have a bye as he has reset the world record here in that car, and he bypasses the water box. So it looks like Jaron Perdue is going to elect just to take the tree here and take the green and cruise on down on a Saturday afternoon cruise here at the South Georgia Motorsports Park, where he'll take on Ernie Smith in the second round.
This hot rod, the Stud Muffin in C-Gas competition, has a history, championship history, 2, matter of fact, with other drivers. The man now holding the reins is Jaron Perdue, and you took this hot rod with some help from Quayne Stott to a new record, 595 with a 3.
Yeah, we was fortunate enough to be able to move the record again. I think we had the record at a 596 from Gulfport, so we was fortunate to be able to move the record this weekend. I'm pretty grateful for all the help that Quayne's given us with this car. It wouldn't be where it's at without him, and I greatly appreciate that.
Jaron, what brought you to Southeast Gassers Association drag racing? You hop in the car last year, and this car was turned on, and you also started to show a lot of skill as a driver.
We had the Adams County Outlaw car and ended up blowing an engine. And when we blew the engine, I was going to have one built, and this car came available. So, again, I was fortunate enough to be able to get the car, and it was ready to go. So you'd be crazy not to start running it. So that's what we done. I'd been wanting to run with the Southeast Gassers for a really long time, and I kind of done some dirt track stuff. Dad's drag raced for 50 years, so it's been something I've been wanting to do, and when I've got the opportunity to do it, I had to jump on it. So that's kind of the story of me getting here to an extent. But that Adams County Outlaw car, we ran it one season, and then I think 2 races into last season maybe, and that's when I ended up with this car. So hopefully, we're gonna try for a championship this year is our goal. So we'll see where we get.
Jaron Perdue is becoming the resident Stud Muffin in the Stud Muffin. C-Gas Eliminations next.
Backing up so good. Maybe we'll get a race out of this anyway. Billy Eisen running out of his shoes out there, that traction compound. Hey, looks like Josh Pruitt making a slow attempt to get back here, but Jimmy Huff waiting patiently, showing some sportsmanship to let Josh Pruitt get back to the line. Winner of this one going to go to the semifinals and receive a bye, so it's a big round right here. Whoever wins this round is going to go get a bye all the way to the finals. So Josh Pruitt going to try to knock Jimmy Huff off right here, but what a show of sportsmanship by Jimmy Huff in the hoopty coop right here out of Loganville, Georgia, patiently waiting for them to get their stuff together. Can't say enough about that, and that's why that man won our Sportsman of the Year award a couple of years ago. The Sonny Hall Sportsman of the Year award was bestowed upon Jimmy Huff for stuff just like this. telling you, it's a big racing family. Jimmy Huff wants to win right here, but he wants to do it the right way. And what a show of sportsmanship by Jimmy Huff. Got Larry Floyd here with me in the Josh Pruitt turns on the red light, so Jimmy Huff takes the win anyway. Larry, when you're in a situation like that and you got a car that's malfunctioning, you're hustling, trying to get back, how nervous does that make you as a driver?
Well, that makes you pretty nervous. I mean, everything's going through your head. You're just wondering what's going on and what you got to do to get down the track. I mean, the ultimate goal here is to win. So, yeah, you just got a bunch of stuff going through your head.
We need A gas to the lanes, please. A gas, we need you in the lanes, please now. A gas to the lanes. Second pair out in C gas. Jaron Purdue, Peoples, Ohio, being backed up there. Heather Peak bringing back Jaron Purdue, getting him ready to go right here as Quayne Stott right behind the car, crew chiefing on it. Robin Harris going to bring up Ernie Smith out of Spartanburg, South Carolina with his Wings, etc. Bowling Springs, Woodfin Towing, and Priority Heating and Air sponsorship here in the Larice Motorsports Insurance lane on the right side. Let's see if Ernie Smith can pull something off right here. Both cars into the pre-stage simultaneously. Little cat and mouse going on here, people. Purdue goes in first. Ernie Smith gets to get in there. He's going to get timed out. He gets in. Here Purdue tattoos him to the tree. Ernie Smith trying to play some games on the tree right there, but Jaron Purdue having nothing to do with it as he takes that car down the racetrack to a very consistent time as he backs up that World Championship elapsed time. So Heath Adams in the Rusty Bullet out of Greenville, South Carolina, the 53 Chevy, going to be taking on the 55 Chevy of Alfred Adams in the Dammit Bob, who'll be in the Larice Motorsports Insurance right lane. I guarantee you, Adams will win this one, so I'll go ahead and mark him in there against Jaron Purdue. Now, will it be Alfred Adams or will it be Rusty Adams? Those cars with Gene Fulton power underneath the hood. So Gene Fulton providing the power for both of these cars. Good lead by both drivers, almost heads up off that. Alfred Adams ahead in the 60-foot mark, and Alfred Adams gets beat as he loses it in the top end. So the reaction, that's a whole shot win right there for Heath Adams. Heath Adams takes a whole shot win as he treated him. He had a 110 reaction time to the 160 reaction time of Alfred Adams, and he takes the whole. We need A-gas cars to the lanes, please. A-gas competitors, we need you to the lanes, please, if you are still in elimination. All right, so Jimmy Huff on to the finals. Going to set up a matchup coming up with Jaron Purdue from Peoples, Ohio in the Stud Muffin, and Heath Adams in the Rusty Bullet, the 53 Chevy. Jaron Purdue looks like he's going to take the quick time performance lane on the left-hand side where he's been all day long, besides that one round of qualifying. Already reset the elapsed time record here in C-Gas for the Southeast Gassers. Both these cars possess a Gene Fulton small block in it. And Heath Adams going to try to be the guy that knocks him off of this storybook day here in South Georgia Motorsports Park. Roger Liston, the finals will be live as well. We will not leave this broadcast until we have crowned champions. All right, matchup right here. Heath Adams going to be going up against Jaron Purdue right here. This is going to be who gets to the finals. Robin Harris brings Heath Adams in for his final preparations. Purdue lights the pre-stage, and both guys are in pre. So Jaron Purdue takes the win right there. The reaction time advantage went to Heath Adams, but that was quickly under the hood. He's going to take the quick time performance lane on the left-hand side, putting the Loganville, Georgia racer Jimmy Huff in the hoopty coupe over in the Larice Motorsports Insurance right lane. Jimmy Huff rolls it through the beams right there, shifting it into fourth gear for a fourth gear burnout in the hoopty coupe. Jimmy Huff got a big order right here if he thinks he's going to knock off the stud muffin, but he's going to give it all he's got. As we said before, first man to get to the 660 stripe is going to win, doesn't matter how. You got to keep that car straight, get it to the end before you're in the competitor. That's what drag racing's all about. We get ready to watch these two. Christy Burchett bringing up Jimmy Huff. Heather Peak bringing up Jaron Purdue out of Peoples, Ohio. Ohio versus Georgia right here in this matchup. Can Jimmy Huff bring it home in his home state here? An uncharacteristic 668 light for Jimmy Huff and a 166 light right there for Jaron Purdue, and it was over before it began as Jaron Purdue wins here in SEGA.
In SEGA, a man who set a record earlier today now holds up the trophy at the end of the day. Jaron Purdue, you have won yet again this hot rod. The stud muffin is on keel, and you're shaping up to be early odds-in favorite here in competition.
We're hoping so. We had a pretty good day today. You know, there's unfortunate Todd and a few couldn't be here. It's you know, Todd's always right there, so it's kind of more enjoyable when Todd's here. So I'm hoping he gets better soon and he can be to the next one. So yeah, like I said, everything pretty much just worked out in our favor this weekend, and we hope it keeps coming this way.
I know that Jaron Purdue and team with the Stud Muffin are certainly going to be hoping that it keeps coming their way. They're going to be working on that to that effect. He's our winner here at the Spring Nationals in SEGA, presented by Harbin's Mechanical. We do want to give a shout-out to our defending champion in SEGA, Todd Oden, driver of the Double X. He had a medical emergency that stopped him from being here and competing, and we always know that he is a contender, and he would have been. Todd, get better. We want to see you as soon as possible back in the car and at a Southeast Gassers Association race. Hey SEGA fan, Lee Kraft here. What you just watched on the Southeast Gassers Association YouTube channel is a trimmed down version of whichever category you just watched from our live stream at South Georgia Motorsports Park. Be sure to subscribe right here to the SEGA YouTube channel. More races will be streamed, and when not, you will still be able to see the great racing action that SEGA displays. There is no rival.